Welcome to the Journey to Happy podcast, a podcast dedicated to women who do too much, who think too much, who worry too much, who prioritize everyone too much, who neglects herself too much. This is a place for you to hang out. We get you. I know exactly who you are. That used to be me. There is another way of going about life, and that is what I've dedicated this podcast to, teaching you a way in which you can be incredibly caring and compassionate and helpful, but without sacrificing your own well-being. My name is Olga. I am a former therapist, a life coach, a coffee lover, a wife, blissfully a mother, and I am your host. I'm excited that you found this podcast, and I cannot wait to see you inside. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Journey to Happy podcast. I'm Olga, your host, and as always, I am incredibly thankful that we're connecting through this podcast. I wanted to begin by thanking those of you who have taken the time to review the podcast. It means a lot to me, but not only means a lot to me, it actually helps me in my efforts to bring guest speakers and to rate higher in the podcast world. So if you have never reviewed a podcast, please, I urge you, go to your favorite podcast and leave a review, leave comments. It helps the person who's putting this podcast for a variety of reasons. So it's like a thank you note. If you can just do that one thing for the podcast that you love listening to, you don't know how much you're helping that person. So thank you so much for all of you who have actually taken the time to leave me a review. I'm currently giving for free my mindfulness course. It's an online course. It's a 4-week course called Mindfulness for Every Day. For those of you who screenshot a review that you've left for my podcast and email it to me at findjoy@olgasway.com. If you want to get access to this course for free, all you have to do is leave me a review. For those of you who have done it already, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, let's dive in. I am particularly excited about this one episode because I'm going to break it down to you to 4 elements that I use on a regular basis to maintain my mind positive when I think that I've tried everything and nothing has worked. Way too often, I hear my clients saying to me, Olga, I tried it, and it didn't work. What are you going to tell me to do? This, I already tried it and it didn't work. I know what it's like to feel that I've tried many things and that nothing has really brought the kind of progress that I wanted to see. And what I've come to understand from my own experience, but also for the people I've coached, is not that it didn't work, is that we didn't actually do the thing for long enough to see it succeed. It's like we lose patience not even halfway through, a quarter in of our efforts to try this one thing that we're saying we're trying, but we don't let it breathe through. We don't let it take roots. And that's what this podcast is all about, letting things take root. So how can we essentially learn to sustain the suspense of whether or not this is going to bring us the benefits that we want long enough for us to be able to for sure say, okay, I tried that approach and it didn't work. I know I'm probably touching on many of you and you're thinking, yeah, that's me for some things, but not for others. I recently experienced that with one of my business approaches. I felt like it didn't work, it wasn't working, and that I had tried it long enough. Turns out that most people who try this one approach, they tried for a year before they quit. I was 2 months in already saying, oh, this doesn't work for me. I tried it. Maybe some of you have already read all the self-help books and you've taken their content to where you think you can, and maybe you've made up your mind that a certain approach doesn't work for you. And maybe you just have not tried that enough. One of the things I notice with my coaching clients who may have come previously from doing therapy or from doing the self-help books is that they didn't find that helped them that much. And part of me wonders, did you have the accountability that you needed to keep at trying these new ways of going about your life? Or did you quit too soon? I would say 99% of the times I find that they stopped the therapy too soon. They didn't let the therapeutic concepts really sink in, take roots. And if it wasn't therapy, the books, that the concepts of the books, they applied it for maybe 20 days, 21 days. And then that was a gone sort of effort. So they were lacking the sustainability. I don't know if I said this to you guys before, but I'm a bit of a geek for some things, not all things, but for some things. And in the last, I would say 4 years, I've become really curious to keep data of my own clients. Not everything, but I have become interested to understand what makes a woman make incredible self growth progress versus one that kind of sticks to the same problem and they show up to the sessions and I feel like we're having the same conversation all over again. Sometimes I wonder, do we need to record this one session and you just have to replay it 5 million times? Or do you actually want to achieve change? They would have said, Olga, I tried that thing and it didn't work. The truth is that they were lacking the supports to actually implement this. Now, in this data that I've kept, my numbers show that the women who have combined one-on-one sessions with me to dive deep into their personal blockages to understand themselves better, as well as have joined one of my group coachings, have propelled their progress like nobody else. It's mind-blowing. And so I kept testing this data because it was by choice. I didn't always offer a program that combined both things until recently. Becoming the CEO of your own life actually combines all the elements that I've seen have worked on the clients that I've seen them have the most amount of success in committing to their goals. And I've noticed like when women are in a community, something magical happens. Ladies, we're meant to be supported not by one but by several people, and to feel that we're part of a community. We need to feel that we belong. And the truth is that often we're placing so much expectations on the one person. Maybe that's your husband. Like we want them to be our best friend, our handyman, our lover, our confidant, our biggest fan and supporter, our cheerleader, also the father of our children. We've given so many hats to one human that we find ourselves feeling exhausted, like we've exhausted this one person, or that person is not doing all the jobs perfectly fine because they're not supposed to. So I have found that this community sense is massive for women. So as you're listening to the 4 words and concepts that I have sincerely tried my best to stick to when navigating life and its difficulties, I want you to think about your current support groups. Who are they? Are they just friends? Are they like-minded people who are also like you, driven and wanting to make a different see a different outcome in their lives? Who is your support group? Where is that sense of belonging? How can you have a separate from your home and immediate relationships support group where you feel that you belong, that this is like family, but where you can be objective, where you can share openly, where you can be vulnerable, and where you can be inspired by others? That has proven to be incredibly helpful in my data. And I just thought I needed to share that with you because whatever it is that you are, if you're women wanting to feel different, wanting to behave differently, please consider surrounding yourself with a community. There is something powerful that happened to us women when we feel surrounded by other women and when we feel empowered by other women. It is don't take my word as the truth. As always, just put it to test. Okay, so in this podcast, long story to tell you, we are going to talk about how to maintain positivity during difficult times. And when I broke it down for myself, I broke it down to 4 words that have ruled my life. Okay, I go by these 4 words, and They happen all to begin with the C, the letter C. So I'm going to go one by one. You might want to take notes. This might become one of those podcast episodes that you will save and you're going to come back time after time. I know the times that I've spoken about this in my group coaching calls, people tell me this has been one of the most impactful conversations we've had. So I wanted to bring it to the podcast and get you guys connected to these 4 words, and maybe for you to look into what your 4 words will be. All right, so we're going about our life. We're happy-go-lucky, maybe not so lucky, maybe not so happy, but we're navigating through life, no problem. Then life brings forward a storm, and we're like, oh, the storm is here. If only I had known and I had taken my umbrella and my rainy boots. That's always ideal. But let's be honest, life almost never just brings on the storm when it's ideal. And it is a storm, so we're not really like in the mindset to enjoy storms. We always want to change things around. Nonetheless, these are the things that I go by when that happens. The first thing that happens when we're going through a difficult time is that our beautiful mind will begin to populate an incredible amount of thoughts. Most of them, they are linked on what ifs, right? They're based on what ifs. They're not happening. Nothing has happened yet, but this life event has happened. And since then, we're like a bit preoccupied with what that means for our future. The first C that I rule my life by, the first word that I rule my life by is confidence. As soon as I spot the storm, as soon as I notice, oh crap, storm has arrived into my life, I do everything in my power to come back to my personal confidence. Not confidence that things will turn out the way I want, that, not confidence on the things that I don't have control over, but confidence in that no matter what, I am going to be okay. And you know why I have that confidence? Because if I look back right now, if I look back at my life, I can tell you that I have overcome every single difficult life event that I've had so far. I have done that. And I've done it all by myself or with a crazy amount of support, but I have done it. So I always come back to that confidence. You can do the same. You can actually build on that confidence because if you look back, you've overcome every difficult life event in your life. So often people ask me, how do I build on that confidence? Remember that you were born confident. You were born confident. So you don't have to become confident. You have to notice and observe the behaviors and the thoughts that take you away from your confidence. This is when I validate or disprove the automatic thoughts I have. What are automatic thoughts? Automatic thoughts are the thoughts that happen so quickly we don't even notice them. They were there, but they're there. We've thought this way for so long that we now automatically think that way. So for example, when bad things happen, you might have the thought that more bad things will happen. That might be an automatic thought you have. So the first thing I do is to become really, really, really clear on what my automatic thoughts are at this moment. I write them down and make a list of all of them. And then I validate or disprove each of these thoughts. Is it true that every time something bad happens, more bad things happen? Like, do I have concrete evidence of that? Do I validate this or do I disprove? I end up disproving a lot of these automatic thoughts. So I then tell myself, well, I don't have the confidence of where this is going to end up. Like you found the news that you're losing your job or that you're going to have to move to a different, like you've been repositioned, or like something more scary. Somebody has a terminal condition and you've never been there. You have zero personal experience to rely on how to do this thing. You've never done that before. Or you become a parent. That might not be a bad news, might be great news, but it could be terrifying. Here's what I always go back to. I literally, physically sign a contract with myself that says I am going to be confident enough to do this one thing, to go through this life phase scared. It is having the confidence to work with our fears. You guys, you think most of us think that being confident means we're not afraid. My sister was actually asking me this the other day. How do you manage to speak in front of people without getting scared? And I asked her, what makes you think I'm not scared, that I don't get nervous? I do it despite my fear. That's the difference. That's what I mean by confidence. Hey guys, it's me interrupting your podcast for a moment to personally invite you to work together. If you are a woman who has been overthinking for far too long, if you're feeling a little exhausted of your own mind and just want to have a break, I want you to take that break too. If you want to know how to stop overthinking things or the past, how to stop worrying so much and find that perfect balance between caring and taking care of you, prioritizing yourself. If you feel that your perfectionist mindset is taking the best of you, you find yourself procrastinating on the things that are good for you and really focusing on the things that are not really serving you, like worrying about what others think of you, worrying about people's judgment of yourself. If you've got weak boundaries because of your own needs of being accepted and not rejected, and if you worry about people's perception to the point that you have disconnected from your own identity, from what you like, from what you want. That underlying anxiety caused by overthinking, taking things personally, and carrying the loads of everyone's issues in your own shoulders. Hey, I'm speaking to you. I want to get you out of there, my friend. I have been you. I know what it's like to be that woman. I know what it's like to be so sensitive and caring and impacted by the things around you and wanting to keep it all in balance while not actually getting personally negatively impacted. I get it. Been there. There is a way out of this. There is a way for you to live life with healthy boundaries, have really strong, powerful relationships where you get to shine through within your power. It's possible. I do it. I am a living proof example of that. And so are my coaching clients. For the remaining of the year, 2021, I've got 4 spots available for one-on-one work. And if you're listening to this in the month of April, I have just opened a second cohort of my most powerful coaching program, group coaching program, Becoming the CEO of Your Own Life. And as always, you can join me inside Reset Your Mindset, the membership at a really low cost, all of which is available to you. All you have to do is make a decision that life that you're currently living can improve if you just make that choice. So I would love to see you. I would love to support you. I've got a variety of services. They're all in my show notes. You have all the links. Browse around, or you know what? If you actually want to talk with me for 15 minutes, you can book yourself in and we get to have a discussion about what program will suit you best. But from the bottom of my heart, I want you to know that the life of the overthinker, of the person who worries too much, who gives too much, who neglects herself too much, does not have to continue. Just because that's all you know doesn't mean you have to keep there. You know you can do better. I know you can do better. So let's work together. You've done the self-books, you've done the therapy. It's time for a change. Life coaching is for you. And I am excited, genuinely excited to help you navigate through whatever it is that you're going through. Talk to you soon. And let's remember, even in the darkest of storms, the hardest of storms, we still have a gift inside of us. Every single one of us was born with a gift. And we, in times of worry, in times of chaos, we tend to hide our gift, not shine it. And that becomes really heavy and it shakes our confidence. So when you're going through something difficult, as you're applying the C, the confidence that no matter what, you're going to be okay, that no matter what, you're going to do things scared, I want you to ask yourself, am I protecting my gift? Or am I walking around like I've got the most powerful gift and I'm going to shine it? I'm not going to hide it. I'm going to let it shine through so that I can see the day in which this problem is past, but I've done it in the confidence of my own gift. So, what is your own gift? Sometimes I ask that to my clients and they don't know. They don't know on the spot and they don't know days after. That worries me. If that is you, if I'm asking you what is your gift and you have no idea, I need you to do some deep reflection here and pay attention. What is your gift? And your gift can be something as beautiful as being a social butterfly, connecting, as it could be being analytical, as it could be being fast on your feet, as it could be to sing your voice. Your gift could come in a variety of ways, and you could have more than one, but I want you to connect to it and then see how this gift can help you through this. How can you use the confidence that you have with that gift to help you through this? So one of my clients is super artistic and she paints and she makes drawings. And we have used that gift as she's going through difficult times. She doesn't quit drawing because life is tough right now. So why would I do this? Because that is her gift. That's what she does incredibly well. It builds up her confidence. She especially needs to do it when she's going through a hard time. If you're a singer and you know it, like it comes natural to you, that's what your gift is. It's something that comes natural to us. I remember when people used to say, wow, you've got such an incredible way of looking at life. And I used to think, isn't this common sense? Doesn't everybody see life this way? Then I realized that was my gift. My gift is my perception, the way in which I look at life. So now that I know that, I purposely apply this as I'm going through difficult times, confident that my gift will not let me down, that I can use my gift in this difficult life event. So you need to be very clear on what that is and then be confident in your use of it and be confident enough to do things scared, especially while you're going through something hard. My second C is connection. Oh my God, I apply connection every single day. Before talking to you guys, I sat here and I connected. I connected to myself. I connected to my ability to connect with others. I ask myself, what will be in my audience's best interest to hear from me when it comes to how to navigate through the difficult times. I connect it to myself. When we're going through a difficult time, what I've noticed from my client, what I've noticed from myself is that we want to disconnect. We're like, I'm out. This is painful. I don't want to feel the emotions. I don't want to talk about it. When we have conflict with somebody, when we did something we don't feel too proud about, we don't want to talk about it. We want to disconnect. Not understanding that makes that painful experience so much worse. Take it from a former therapist, from somebody who's been human for long enough, who has suffered long enough. Connection does not hurt you. Connection is your ability to understand you better, to understand those around you better. And let's be honest, what growth ever felt good as it was happening? Pain is part of our opportunity for growth. Your struggle, whatever your struggle is, connect to the solution. When we connect to our struggle, we're immediately connecting to the solution. That one thing that we look for it so much. Here's what happens that you don't see. Let me paint the picture for you. Life brings a storm. You hate the storm. You don't want to connect with you in the storm, but you start desperately looking for answers and solutions. You go see everyone, even psychics maybe, and you're still not finding the solution. This could go on and on and on and on. Maybe the chaos has gone and you still feel uneasy, like this left you with scars. Friend, do yourself a favor. Connect. Connecting is so incredibly powerful. It is how you stop avoiding the what ifs and how you connect to your vision of what you do want. even if it's painful, I want you to see in that pain your opportunity for growth. Otherwise, you will miss this life opportunity and it's going to come back. I hate to say it. That's what I've learned. When I don't connect, when I don't allow this opportunity to teach me what it needs to teach me, this life event shows up again. Could be the same kind of personality in my next boyfriend, could be the same kind of issue within my business, could be the same kind of physical condition because I haven't connected. I've been avoiding. So once you build on the confidence that you can do things, even if you're afraid, then you can connect with your ability to connect with yourself. Understanding that growth sometimes is painful, but if you have the willingness to connect to your problem, you're immediately connecting to your solution. And it's coming from an inner place. It's so powerful. No lawyer, no therapist, no psychic can give you the release that comes when you actually connect to your own solutions. My third C, excuse me, I'm already changing things. Uh, oh, sorry, going back to your connection and to your confidence, I think it's important that we recognize that we will make mistakes along the way, and that's acceptable. That's part of the journey, and don't let the fear of making mistakes stop you from connecting to yourself and seeing your potential solutions to your problems, or from your confidence that no matter what, you will be okay. All right, my third C now is consistency. That's our ability to continue to show up and do your best despite of all circumstances. Every time you show up, you light up, you will turn on your chances of success. You are a warrior and nothing can stop you but you. So I want you to think about this for a second. Where in your life are you lacking consistency? This is what I was saying earlier, that sometimes we just quit too soon. We're not consistent enough with the efforts that we're building to change or to bring ourselves to that one goal. And we quit too soon and we just say, hey, I tried it, just didn't work. I think I've given this example before here in my podcast, where I teach my clients who do a lot of overthinking to meditate. And sometimes they come and they say, "Okay, I already tried meditating and it didn't work. I'm still overthinking." And then I would ask them, "How long did you meditate it for?" And they'll say, "A week." I'm like, "Well, no major progress is going to happen in disciplining the mind when it's been undisciplined all of your life. And now you're doing this for only 1 week." So, this consistency is to show up every single day. Chaos or no chaos, storm or no storm. How can you show up? Now, what does showing up actually looks like? It depends on what you're going through. But to give you an example, I determined a long time ago that lack of consistency was one of my big flaws in general. That I would start something and then halfway through I'll be like, oh yeah, maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after. I had to recognize what consistency was going to look like for me and what showing up was going to look like for me. So, for example, if I say that I want to be more loving for myself, is that remembering and that showing up to remembering what it's like to be loving, especially in moments of disappointment with myself or frustration with myself, and I really don't want to be loving when I think, oh, I shouldn't have made that mistake, I should have known better. When I use the word should already is very telling. So in that particular moment when I had decided that I wanted to be more loving with myself, consistency meant giving myself a glass of water. When I made a mistake, offering myself words of kindness, like, it's okay, you will get it next time. When I don't know, when I lost my temper with my husband, I would forgive myself immediately. That's what showing up is all about. So if you're going through something really difficult right now, I want you to kind of determine what tiny little thing that you think you can commit to being consistent that will help you restore your balance, keep you at bay, understand that you're going through something hard, but right now, this is one thing you cannot afford to let go of. So that's going to look different for every single one of us. Other periods of my time when I was feeling really anxious, for example, running became the thing that I was doing every single day, except on resting day. That was intentional in my calendar because in my head, if I could run, if I could discipline my mind to run, my body to run every day, I could discipline my mind to do anything. So that really helped me with my anxiety at the time. My last C, my friends, is courage. And I cannot talk about courage without talking about two of our primary fears in as humans. We have two primary fears. One is rejection, one is abandonment. Every single one of us is either afraid of being rejected, being abandoned. That's why we care so much about people's opinions. So, when we're going through something difficult, you would think that's when you're like maybe care a little bit less about what others think, but we still care. We still feel that fear of rejection and abandonment. So, my solution, or like why I say courage, is because you guys, fear and courage are felt the same way. I personally, at all times, but especially when going through something difficult, I turn that fear into courage because fear is freaking powerful and it can be paralyzing. But what we need to do in moments of difficulty is not to be paralyzed and stop time, but we need to move forward. We need to have the courage to take action. How many of us have felt that we could really talk to somebody, that we could really organize this anxiety, that we could really use something to stop us from overthinking, and yet we don't take inspired action for a million other fears we have of what that could look like, what that could mean, what would it be like to talk to friends and say, hey, I have a life coach. I recently had one of my clients who said she's in the medical field, and she said at the lunchroom, she shared with somebody that she had a life coach, and a doctor was like, you have a life coach? You seem so put together. We worry so much and so often about things that will make us not be liked by others. Like making a mistake becomes a big deal because what if people stop trusting us? What if we disappoint people? So it's okay, guys, to understand fear is part of our primary essence. We are to be afraid. But what we do with that fear is entirely up to us. And I encourage you to shift that fear into courage. You know that those bubbles in your butterflies in your belly when you're worried about something, when you're fearful, if you can just tell yourself, that is courage being built right now. And I'm going to use that force to power through this, to make that difficult call, to have that difficult conversation, to hire that coach, and finally get to organize my mind for once and for all. That, my friends, is power, is when we can shift our fear into courage because there's so much energy in there. All we need to do is give it a new meaning, give it a new name. This is courage, not fear, courage. And I'm going to use this as energy to mobilize myself moving forward. I hope you guys found this helpful. These are my 4 C's: confidence, connection, consistency, and courage. One of my clients said, Olga, you need to add compassion. You're extremely compassionate to you when you're going through a hard time. And I would say that if I had a 5th one, it would definitely be compassion. From my heart to yours, thank you so much for listening. Make this information go to good use and share with me. Was this helpful? And if so, how did that change or help you change things? Sending you all my love and talk to you guys next Monday.